from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A very good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Malsha Dharmavardhana.
And I'm Niket Karunaratne. We'll start off with the headlines as usual. A joint tourist zone to be made between Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Floods in Valimada and Halial. Aravinda De Silva, who has joined the Cricket Hall of Fame, returns to the island. A wild elephant herd in Menace stopped vehicles. 140,000 litres of fuel to the Gaza Strip once in 2 days. Undefeated India meets Australia in the World Cup finals tomorrow. On to those and other stories in detail now. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says regional countries must get together to reap the economic might of the growing South Asian region.
He also elaborated on the establishment of a joint tourist zone between Sri Lanka and the Maldives, addressing a session of a youth entrepreneurs Colombo today. The Young Professionals Organization, identified by the abbrevities YPO, is a forum acting in joint collaboration with international bodies. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest at the conference conducted by the organization under the title Colombo Experience.
When I was in Maldives yesterday and I had discussion with the new President Muzi, we were wondering why we cannot have Sri Lanka and Maldives as one tourist area. So there's new thinking on all sides. How do we work together? And I thought I will devote my time on how the region can get together. After all, you have to remember that the economic power is coming into Asia. You already have East Asia, which is well established. You have ASEAN, which together they say can be the 5th or the 4th largest economy in the world. And then we have this part of the world. India by itself will be the 3rd largest economy, but we must also function as a region. I don't think we will have the model of the Asia Pacific totally integrated, but nevertheless in some sectors we can certainly promote integration and leave the other sectors out. That's the only way I think that South Asians will be able to work together with anyone else. Sri Lanka is going to be, so we have decided, I put forward a new economy during the budget proposals. Actually, I had no budget proposals, I only had proposals regarding the new economy. Having recovered from the economic crisis, restructure, what was our main aims? One was the trade surplus, other was the budgetary surplus, and to modernize. So what our principal objectives are: competitive economy, digital transformation, energy transition, and a green economy. A regional logistic hub. Utilize Industry 4 technology for the future. Secondly, the accelerated agriculture modernization program and fisheries modernization, which also brings Sri Lanka's economy, will make agriculture a part of Sri Lanka's economy. Go ahead and modernize agriculture, help the small farmer, help the large enterprises, both, to get them moving. The government reform the government-oriented extension system into a combined one where government and the private sector take so, and like the private sector to take the lead, especially on the supply chain. Since 1931, about 2 million acres have been given out to farmers, small-time farmers. But no one has got ownership. They have a permit under the Land Development Ordinance. Our decision is to change that and ensure that these 2 million acres, the farmers who hold it, have freehold rights to it. So they are like any other farmer. Which means you are bringing into the system another 2 million acres. That's over 10% of our land. The banking credit system will develop. And it's also a part of our constitution for dispersal of ownership. So there will be a lot of smallholders. Of course, promoting technology. I've kept about 8 billion rupees this year, first time, to promote technology. And also going into AI. The industrialization of Tamil Nadu can proceed. It will basically accelerate the industrialization of Tamil Nadu plus Telangana, others around it would become another major industrial and economic center in India. One would be Maharashtra, Gujarat, that area. Second would be here. Then they can really become export-oriented economy, and that's one whole area. So places like Sivaganga, all downwards, Indigal, all of them become modernized, industrialized with modern industrial manufacture, with the most modern technology. That will benefit Sri Lanka mainly as a logistic hub, and that will be a lot of new ventures in Sri Lanka to handle. So you could see the potential that we have, basically working together as an industrial for manufacturing industry. Not only India coming to Sri Lanka, but I am promoting Sri Lankans to go into India. We are already one of the largest investors in Bangladesh. I've told them go into Myanmar, go into Cambodia, go into Laos, go into East Africa, go into West Africa. So we are also encouraging our entrepreneurs to go out. Then there is tourism. I always felt that tourism is not only a question of Sri Lanka and Maldives, but Sri Lanka and India and Maldives should be one tourist area, and maybe all the way up to Nepal. It's a question of how we develop our airlines. If our airlines are developed, then if our aviation is developed, that's a possibility.
The Maldives and Sri Lanka have discussed strengthening bilateral relations.
The discussion was held during a meeting between President Dr. Ranil Wickremesinghe and the new President of Maldives, Dr. Mohamed Muitzu, in Kurumba, Maldives. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was attending the inauguration ceremony of President Muitzu yesterday. During the meeting, President Muitzu expressed his gratitude and extended a warm welcome to President Wickremesinghe for visiting the Maldives to witness the presidential inauguration ceremony. He also said that the visit demonstrated the close bilateral ties between the Maldives and Sri Lanka. Additionally, President Wickremesinghe congratulated President Muitzu on his assumption of office. Both leaders shed light on the long-standing bilateral relations between the Maldives and Sri Lanka and discussed ways to further strengthen the relations between both countries. As such, both leaders discussed issues of mutual interest, including education, multiple visa entry for students under 18, and economic recovery efforts. Furthermore, President Wickremesinghe extended an invitation to President Muitzu to make a state visit to Sri Lanka at his earliest convenience. President Muitzu accepted the invitation. Later, President Wickremesinghe met Mrs. Samatha Power, the administrator of the US aid agency. Now, the rainy weather condition continues to wreak havoc on the daily routine of residents in many parts of the island. The Department of Meteorology forecasts a rainfall of around 100 millimeters in certain locations in the central, Uva and Sabaragamu provinces today as well. The Valimada area has received torrential rainfall last afternoon, causing floods in the entrance route to the Valimada town from the Valimada-Nuwara main road. Our correspondent says rocks were flowing, with the floodwaters causing obstruction to vehicle transport. Katavala Road in the town of Harliala and part of the town itself were inundated in heavy rains. Some vehicles and shops were also submerged in water, and motor traffic on the Galauda Road in Harliala has come to a standstill. Heavy rainfall has led to the opening of all 6 sluice gates of the Vihragala reservoir. The District Disaster Management Centre has informed the residents living along the Manikanga to remain vigilant rapidly. Each of the 4 sluice gates of the Dadurwaya reservoir has been opened 4 feet with effect from dawn today. The Dadurwaya reservoir is reported to be releasing 11,1200 cubic feet of water every second. Now, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says the Sri Lankan cricket itself had created the environment for the ICC cricket ban.
He has stated in Parliament that he has the necessary evidence to prove this fact. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga stated that a select committee should have to be appointed to look into the charges. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says a ban on cricket in Sri Lanka has been imposed as a result of lies and fraudulent facts presented by Sri Lankan cricket. The opposition leader requests all 225 members in Parliament to look into this fact appropriately. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says it would become a serious accusation if the opposition leader is able to present facts with written evidence. If there are any political influences, they should come from the government side. The minister further said both the government and the opposition request to investigate into any frauds in the issue. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that if a section committee is appointed, definitely the issue would be undermined. The opposition leader has proposed to appoint an unbiased council which is able to act in a creative manner.
මේක විපක්ෂයටවත් ආණ්ඩුවටවත් කාටවත් ඕනාට නෙවෙයි ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාව සුරක්ෂා කිරීම උදෙසා යම්කිසි සභාවක් පත් කරගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියන එක මම යෝජනා කරනවා.
Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that both the government and opposition majority is on a clear stand that the systematic investigation will be to be conducted. He also said that an appropriate selection committee will have to be appointed through the individuals not connected to the sport of cricket. Parliamentarian Nimal Lansa said that the business community should meet and take a decision as to which committee will have to appoint. He added that they will give fuller support to eradicate corruption.
Now, today was the fifth day in the debate on the second reading of the budget. The vote on the second reading is scheduled to be conducted on Tuesday evening. Some of the opinions expressed by parliamentarians in today's debate are as follows. MP Imtiaz Bakir Barakar said that the budget has been presented in the background of a historic court verdict which revealed the nearest reasons that led to the bankruptcy of the country. The MP has also expressed hope that the decision of the judiciary would create an impact for bringing Sri Lanka's political upbringing to the correct path. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that the opposition is making frantic efforts to give a wrong definition to the court verdict. He further said that nobody is able to say that verdict has accused any particular group for being responsible for the collapse of the economy. The court has delivered the verdict according to the written submissions and it does not have power to give a verdict outside of its purview. He has also called for the appointment of a select committee to find out who was responsible for the shortcomings committed in the past 75 years and also to find the culprits of economic collapse. MP Thalata Athukorala said that the cost of living allowance of 10,000 rupees for government servants is to be paid from April of next year. She added that she has requested to increase the payment for the adults by 1,000 rupees. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna said that the VAT has a prominent place in the bills that we are paying today. He has requested to recover the tax only from those who are maintaining businesses. The State Minister has also requested to give the highest prominence in the introduction of latest technology. MP Mahinda Vijayasiri said that Sajith Premadasa has pointed out on how to punish the wrongdoers. MP Piyal Nishantha said Sajith Premadasa has stated that they would punish the rogues after receiving power. He added that however rogues are telling how they are going to punish other rogues. MP Duminda Disanaike said that they are thankful to President Ranil Wickremesinghe for bringing a budget in the midst of an economic crisis.
Now, the latest addition to the ICC Hall of Fame, Aravinda De Silva, has returned to the island after receiving the accomplishment yesterday. Former Test cricketer Aravinda De Silva has competed in 93 Test matches and 308 one-day matches. Prior to Aravinda De Silva, 3 more Sri Lankan cricketers have been inducted to the Hall of Fame of cricket. They were Muttaya Muralidharan, Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayawardena. Aravinda De Silva said that without the support of other members in the team, he would never have been able to achieve this unique feat. He said that the encouragement given by sports fans throughout the world could also not be forgotten.
Now, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says international acknowledgement of the fact of Sri Lanka adhering to the program of the International Monetary Fund would come into effect only after passing the first reading of the budget. The minister has made these observations to the media upon conclusion of a religious ceremony in Homagama last evening. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the President has presented the budget proposal based on two preliminary expectations. The minister added that in the few days' time, Sri Lanka will receive the second installment of the IMF. He further said that the country would be able to restructure its foreign debt after receiving the installment. The minister also said that thereafter the program will be continuously implemented. The ceremony was held in connection with the inauguration of the Sri Sambuddha Raja Mandira and the offering of the statues of the 7 Buddhas and the seat for the offering of flowers at the Sri Uttara Rama Viharya in Pitipana North, Homagama. Handing over of dried food to expecting mothers has also taken place. The programs have been organized under the direction of Venerable Talagala Sumana Thero. Now, Dinesh Lahari, who is on a bicycle tour to Sri Lanka from Switzerland, has reached Turkey today.
So far, he has spent 58 days in his cycling adventure. Lahiru says he had decided to embark on his tour in order to find happiness by moving away from his regular lifestyles. He was born in Kothmale, Nuwara and presently engaged in employment in a European country. On his way to Turkey to Switzerland, Dinesh had travelled across Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia and Bulgaria. His aim is to reach Sri Lanka through Iran, Pakistan and India. He has planned the cycle tour lasting around 10 months. Dinesh Lahiru, after coming out from his nighttime camp, commenced his daily bicycle tour at 10 a.m. He continues to cycle until 1 p.m. Then he gets his daily meal, consists of fruits, porridge or various of grains such as oats. He takes snacks in between travelling and resting, and later he takes his lunch from any restaurant he finds on the way. Lahiru further says he completes on how to spend the night after finishing his daily travelling at around 4 p.m. Then he focuses his attention on a place to spend the night. Lahiru's sleeping gear is capable to meet cold conditions at night in the northern hemisphere as the wintry in rapid approaching. He is an expert in bicycle mechanism and does running repairs of his bike alone without any hassle. When travelling across Romania, Lahiru met a group of Sri Lankans who are currently employed there, and he was able to taste Sri Lankan food there. Lahiru expects to reach Sri Lanka as the final destination in July next year. A rare and enchanting scene was witnessed at the Rupavahini Railway Protection Zone in Menace yesterday.
This was a large herd of elephants crossing the railway track. A heavy vehicle congestion was observed on the Colombo-Batticaloa main road near the Rupavahini junction in Min area last evening due to a large flock of nearly 150 wild elephants entering the Rupavahini protectorate via the main road. Many local and foreign tourists travelling on the road have stopped their vehicles to watch this marvellous scene. Residents in the area say sighting of a large number of elephants is an extremely rare occurrence. They add that as the Polonnaruwa district is encircled by many national wildlife parks, frequent roaming of wild elephants is a common sight.
This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Es ist wunderschön, es ist ganz schön, wunderschön.
So we are very lucky that we see these elephants, just wild elephants, on our way back.
A discussion on measures to be taken to minimize the wild elephant menace, which has been affecting many areas in the Polonnaruwa district for a long time, has taken place at the Polonnaruwa district secretariat yesterday. The meeting, which was presided over by Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi, has focused attention on short and long-term measures to be implemented to resolve the elephant-human conflict. The minister has pointed out that the Department of Wildlife Conservation should expedite measures to overcome the crisis. State Minister Siripala Gamla, Parliamentarian Jagat Samaravikrama and heads of institutions were also present at the meeting. A wild elephant was reported to have been killed when it clashed with a train in Valikanda, Monaratan on the Polonnaruwa-Batticaloa railway line around 2:45 a.m. today.
Space scientist Gihan Veerasekara says a meteorite shower would become visible in Sri Lanka today and tomorrow. He further says that the incident could be observed with naked eyes during the early morning. Space scientist and engineer Gihan Veerasekara says the meteorite shower occurs in November and December every year. However, it would reach its peak on the 17th, 18th and 19th of November. A constellation of stars would become visible in the eastern direction. The stars could be clearly watched, especially during 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. Around 15 to 20 meteorites would become discernible during the meteorite shower. No equipment is needed to watch the occurrence.
Now, the Lakwanita organization of the United National Party has commenced a program to strengthen rural women. The program is being implemented in 5 provinces. Under the program, training in self-employment is being provided to a selected group of rural women. Accordingly, a program to provide necessary knowledge on mushroom cultivation was conducted in Rambukkana recently. Leaders of women's organizations in Vaunia, Jaffna, Anuradhapura, Kandy, Colombo and Kegaul districts have participated in the program. And that's all the local news. Stay tuned for foreign news after this short break. Welcome back, and now we move on to foreign news.
Israel says it will allow 2 trucks of fuel a day into Gaza. A U.S. State Department official says around 140,000 liters of fuel will be allowed into Gaza every 2 days. Most of that is intended will be allowed into Gaza every 2 days and for 2 trucks delivering aid as well as supporting the UN in providing water and sanitation. The rest is for mobile phone and internet services which had been cut off due to a lack of fuel. On Friday, the company which provides Gaza's communication said that its services were returning after receiving some fuel through UNRWA, the UN's agency for Palestinian refugees. The US official said Washington exerted considerable pressure on Israel to push this full agreement through.
Thousands of Cubans flocked to the capital Havana to hold a rally supporting Palestinians as the war in Gaza rages on. The rally was held at the National Monument in the capital Havana. Demonstration and the march was held under the patronage of the Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Cubans show their solidarity with Palestine as the death toll in the Gaza war is increasing by hundreds daily. Now, South Korea aims to ban the eating of dog meat and to put an end to the controversy over the ancient custom amidst growing awareness of animal rights. Now, the Korean practice of eating dog meat has drawn criticism from overseas for its cruelty, but there has also been an increasing opposition from home, particularly from the younger generation. Local media reported that the legislation would ban the breeding of dogs for slaughter as well as dog meat sales. A 3-year grace period would be matched by financial support for businesses to transition out of the trade. It was reported that the bill is expected to win bipartisan support, which should allow it to sail through Parliament.
Terima Kutumi, Pantamai.
Onto your sports news. The finals of the 13th ICC World Cup one-day cricket tournament will be played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad tomorrow. It is the first occasion that India is fully hosting a one-day World Cup tournament tomorrow.
Previously, India, along with Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, had been hosting World Cup tournaments in the year 1987, 1997 and 2011. The Narendra Modi Stadium, where the finals are to be worked out, is considered to be the biggest stadium where the largest number of spectators could watch a match at once. It has a seating capacity of 132,000. Australia has clinched the World Cup trophy on 5 occasions and the team has become runners-up in 1975 and 1996. India had become champions on 2 occasions and were runners-up on 1. In the year 2003, India lost to strong Australian team. Australia has won the honours on most instances in World Cup finals. India had competed in 150 matches and Australia won 83 of them. India won 57 and 10 ended without a result. Australia was beaten in the 2023 tournament only to the organisers of the event have already confirmed the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the finals of the World Cup one-day tournament final. The match is scheduled to commence at 2 p.m. Sri Lankan time tomorrow.
Terima Kutumi, Pantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news on Rupavahini. Join us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.